Hey everybody, welcome back once again to Welch's Math class. I am so glad to see you, able to give you a little bit of help today, talking to you about ratios. And so I've got a little bit of information for you right up here on the board. I want you to grab hold of that in your notes. If you need to pause the video, then do that. I guess just running through it with you very quickly. What is a ratio? We're in Module 5, by the way. What is a ratio? Well, a ratio is when we compare two like unit quantities. So we might say the ratio of 6 inches to 10 inches. Okay, or we might say the ratio of 7 people to 20 people. Okay, so we're comparing two like unit quantities. We can write these ratios as fractions. And so what we'll have is the first given quantity to the second given quantity. And that'll become the first given quantity over the second given quantity. So when I said a minute ago the ratio of 6 inches to 8 inches, we would write 6 inches over 8 inches. Okay, so that gives us a sense of what that ratio looks like. Now, the most difficult piece in dealing with ratios, quite honestly, I think, is that the fractions must be simplified. Now, this one that I gave you here, the ratio of 6 inches to 8 inches, pretty easy to simplify. Essentially the units, because they're like units, they'll go ahead and cancel, and then the fraction itself reduces down to 3/4. So the ratio of 6 inches to 8 inches really becomes, in the end, a ratio of 3 to 4. Got one that you came in off of here that this is attached to, this particular video is attached to, and I want to talk about that one with you. So again, if you need to pause the video for a second and capture this information, go right to it. And now let's go ahead and jump into the one that you came off of here after we've given you some basic information about a ratio. The problem that brought you here is showing a triangle. In our triangle, I'm going to say that this is 40.5, we'll say millimeters. And then let's go ahead and call this 13.5 millimeters. Not really a good scale drawing, but just go with me here for a second, and let's call this 18 millimeters. Okay, so we want to come up with a ratio of shortest side to longest side. So very quickly and easily, all we're going to do is take our shortest side, which on here is the 13.5 millimeters, put that over in fraction form, the longest side of 40.5 millimeters. Now again, the difficulty comes in really when we have to start simplifying the fraction. First off, in this fraction, when we go to simplify, we know that our millimeters will cancel out directly. Alright, and then we've got a fraction of 13.5 over 40.5. First thing I want to do is clear the decimal. Now notice that there is a decimal place of the 10th here, and so if I multiply the top and the bottom of this fraction both by 10, that'll clear the decimal. But there's a quicker, shortcut way to do that. Essentially, remember we said with fractions, if you do something to the top, it's okay as long as you do the same thing to the bottom. So if I'm going to multiply the top by 10, I'll multiply the bottom by 10. I'm doing that really to clear the decimal. So what if I just said, hey, I'm just going to move that decimal one spot right there, and then I'm going to go ahead and move that decimal right there one spot. I've done the same thing to the top and to the bottom. Effectively, I've multiplied the top by 10 and also multiplied the bottom by 10. And so what I'm looking at now in my fraction is 135 over 405. Okay, so we've cleared the decimal now out of the fraction, which was really, really helpful. Second thing we want to do is begin to look for something we can divide out of both of them. Well, I noticed that both of these are divisible by 5 because they both end in 5. Okay, so I need to go either to my calculator or longhand and do some quick division. I know that 135 divided by 5 is 27. And 405 divided by 5, 405 divided by 5, that's going to be 20, 40, 60, 81. 81. So my ratio has now reduced down to 27 over 81. Now, I think I can reduce that some more. I know, for example, that 9 goes into both of these. Alright, so if I divide the top by 9, I get 3. Dividing the top by 9, I get 3. Dividing the bottom by 9, I get 9. Wow, I can simplify this a little bit more. Divide by 3 here and divide by 3 here, and 1/3. So in the end, the ratio of the shortest side of our triangle to the longest side of our triangle is a 1 to 3 ratio, or 1/3. That's the way we would express our answer. I hope that's helpful to you, gives you some information on ratios, as well as goes ahead and shows you how to work this particular problem. I will look forward to seeing you again next time. You know I love seeing you. I love helping you with this math stuff. So also, I want you to go back right now and work in your problem and use a similar exercise function and do 2 or 3 of these to practice, especially reducing these fractions down that have decimals in them. That's a little tricky piece. Don't be afraid to ask for help as well from your live instructor, which it might be me right there with you, or a tutor who's close by. I will see you next time.